I mean, I get it. It's embarrassing, but we got to do something about it. You know what I mean?
But other things have just taken precedent over it.
I mean, I get that. Other things are always going to take precedent of it. And I know how excited you are about the other things that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah,
But I can definitely see how you could be excited about it.
yeah, and not have the time to do what we said we're going to do in these other aspects.
So today, since little Dave always wants the last minute take a shower, like this dude always. Okay, so we're clearly heard. I'm gonna share this Doug Dizzle. What's up, everybody? Episode 14.
Woo.
Happy Easter. They has risen.
Yes, they have. They're everywhere.
Um. So, how's your last week been, Dave?
Busy week.
It's been a busy week. Man, you were in Tampa for half of it. Didn't you go to Tampa for like Monday through Wednesday?
No, that was the week before.
No, it wasn't. That was last
You
weekend.
sure about that?
I feel like it was because we were just talking about the story and stuff like that.
Maybe. I feel like I've been. I don't know, man. Who even knows, man? Like doing all this work like every day is like whatever. Because I don't really live by the Monday through Friday life anyway.
Oh, are you like one of those people that's like a day life person? Or like okay, today's the third. I got something due on the seventh. It's like, well, I don't know what day it is. I just know I got something due on the seventh.
Yeah, yeah, because the way my job is too, it's not like clock in at 8, out at 4, whatever, 9 to 5, whatever they do. So I'm not really bound by that like schedule. And then my other venture too is on my own clock as well.
The other venture, man. Last night was great, dude. And
Yeah.
then it's like the research and development stage. And also just to see how excited you are about this new venture, man. It's really dope, man. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, me too. It's like
I'm happy for me too.
I am. Yeah, because I've been wanting to do it for a minute. It's just like a lot of obstacles to like doing what I wanted to do. But like you said, that was like almost like manifested, bro, because like that's just exactly
Yeah,
why I wanted it.
we've been speaking about it for a while.
Yeah, and then just the circumstances that just led into that happening. It's just like bam. Now we're like green light.
So, do you see yourself doing this for like the rest of your life? At some capacity, maybe not hands on, but like,
Yeah, well, I want to like get it going good, and then and then expand,
I can agree with that.
because the way the product is, it's like a niche thing, and it's like it has to be in different areas, but you can't really what do they call it? You can't really scale it like it has to be like all local scales.
Do you think this is gonna really wow the area?
It's different, yeah.
Okay,
I don't know about wow, but like
it'll fit in.
for what it is, it's gonna be like a
I think it's dope because you're not really like fighting with anybody, competing with anybody.
yeah. There's nothing else like it, so that's really good. And as far as I know, the only person that does this is like in Miami, and they're
Yeah.
pretty successful at it as well.
Um.
But the one thing I'll say this real quick about them is I feel like they're like satisfied doing like how they're doing it. They don't want to like really scale the same way that I do.
And like have multiple different situations
I don't
going
want to call
on.
it like a franchise, but like
Yeah,
just a
just
local franchise.
yeah.
Almost like how like
They would all be you. It's not like other people own them.
kind of like how like Cantina is,
Yeah.
or like or even like how like Tijuana Flat started. That started
Yeah.
in Orlando, and then he's like bam, bam, bam.
So let's see. I want to get into the first topic because guys, this is going to be kind of a short one today, but we definitely wanted to get it in and talk about some things. Do we have any local topics before I go crazy here? Because I got some crazy topics I want to talk about. We got okay, the Iowa versus LSU thing. Remember, like, so
Are you gonna break down the whole thing?
well, I feel like everybody kind of knows the whole situation with that, but basically, a lot of people are making it kind of like white versus black. Like the whole LSU team's black, the whole Iowa team is white, and the girl from the Iowa team, she's like shooting crazy threes. She like has a shot. She's fire, bro. And she's probably like the best player in college, girls college basketball. And she's shooting it from guy range.
What, the white girl?
Yeah, Caitlin Clark. And the girl Angel Reese, they were beating her by like 20 in the national championship game. And she started doing the hand thing, like pretty much saying like, you can't see me. That's what that means. And she was saying it back to her and talking shit. And there was a lot of people being like, oh, that's classist or classless. And Dave Portnoy called her a classless piece of shit. And a lot of people were getting like, oh, you weren't calling the white girl a classless piece of shit. And while I agree that that is true, I feel like something that I want to kind of make a point to say is like, it does come off as racist. I want him to like understand that, but it's like at the same time, we guys talk shit about sports. Like, so some people are like, oh, he shouldn't say that about a woman, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, do you want us to watch girls sports and talk shit or not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you want us to watch girls sports, but then we only say like good, nice things about them and stuff. It's like, that's why we don't watch girls sports.
I mean, that could be
if that's
like,
what y'all want to do, y'all watch it and y'all do that.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, I will agree it was a bad look. And what he said was like fucked up. Like, bro, she's like a 19-year-old girl or like something like that. You know what I mean? In college. And they're just like doing this. Like, you're not a piece of shit. You know what I mean? It might have been a little classist, but so was the other girl. You could have said that too. But it's like, that's why I was like, bro, it's not that big of a deal. But at the same time, I do believe he has the right. He has a sports thing like that. If he wants to talk shit about it, that's what he has his platform for. And you guys should be happy because it's reaching millions of people. You know what I mean? We're talking about it right now.
Yeah. And what about like you had got even you said Dave Portnoy, but like even more locally, in discussion about it.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah, and Buddy.
Who? Which dude?
I don't know the guy. I don't remember his name, but some guy.
Where were we? Okay. Yeah. So there's a guy on my personal Facebook, and it was weird. I don't even know who he is. And he was like, "Shout out to you, buddy." He was like, "Yeah, she's classless and this and that." I was like, "Bro, like you didn't say that when Caitlin Clark was doing it. You didn't come on my post like then, and because I posted it when she did it, and I was like, just take a seat." He's like, "Take a seat? What does that mean?"
But when you told me, I was like, is that racist? Because you say everything is racist. You know?
That's kind of like my like N-word for the white people.
Yeah.
It like gets you guys flustered when someone calls you racist.
I'm not.
Yeah.
My best friend's black.
Yeah. So that's the reaction that I like to get.
But, in this case, though, I agree with you. I mean, because it's like a different type of racist. It's not like, hey, you can't come in here because you're not black. It's not, I don't know if I call it racist. I'll call it more like a bias.
Yeah, it is.
A bias.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He feels differently when that person does it.
Yeah. Now, if you like really examine it, like on the surface, it just seems like whatever, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really think about it, kind of is a little racist. Especially considering the other girl's been doing that. That's like a fucking, and that's like her thing.
Exactly. It's gonna like be in NBA 2K now. People doing that shit.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic on are they gonna get money? But it came from John Cena, who admitted that it came from Tony Ayo. So it came from, Queens, New York. And Tony Ayo used to do that in like music videos and shit like that. Like because also he had a warrant and he didn't want his face to be seen and shit like that.
While making videos?
Exactly. So fucking he'd be in 50's videos, but he would be like this. And then John Cena started doing it, and that's where everybody's like, they'll take a picture of John Cena. He's like, it's crazy. I took a selfie. You know what I mean? I was at WWE, but it's really a picture with John Cena, but they're saying like nobody's there. So now this girl got it from that, and she's out there showboating and shit. But it's like, yo, hell yeah. Like if I was playing football, like we played football before social media, but if I was playing football and there's some dude on the other team and he would like have some kind of like celebration or something like that, and we destroyed them, bro, I'm doing that same celebration like all over the field.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what are you talking about? Get that shit out of here.
Yeah, that's not new. I feel like
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not
Like,
new.
bro, like you got to eat this. Like, that's what it is. Like, bro, this, it hurts, don't it? Like, you got to, because you've been doing this to everybody, just showboating and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
you got to eat this, bro.
But my thing is just like, how do we know? See, I don't know. It's that like that's what I'm saying. Is that like that bias because it's hard to say. Like, is it because she's black, or
Um, I wouldn't exactly say it's because she's black. You know what I mean? That it, but like
but do you think that's like a subconscious factor?
well, yeah, let me change that. Like, I feel like some people, because it goes both ways, but I feel like I thought about this when like a police officer pulls over like a white girl. If it's like a white cop, he like sees his daughter. You know what I mean? Like, and this goes like if a black guy pulls over like a black girl driving, like he sees his daughter, like, hey, take it easy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to fuck up your life. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So like, bro, I saw a post where like it was early in the game and it was like LSU had 4 points and Iowa had 7 points. So they were up early. And then the girl, the white girl, she's like at pretty much like the half point line or whatever it's called, the half court line, and just puts it up. Boom, swish. You know what I mean? Bro, they go to the stands, white people going crazy. Yeah! And like I started dying laughing because knowing at the end of the game they lost and they were down by 20. And like you seen them, they were looking sick. You know what I mean? But it's just like they saw their daughter, like, you know, so then someone taunting their daughter, they're like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like soccer moms or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe, yeah.
it's so funny now that I remember it. Shout out to Trevor Hersey. My boy's a pastor. But man, back in high school, we went and played lacrosse for a little bit. And the coach hired us, he recruited us to like destroy the other players. He's like, if someone gets a ball, hit him. You know what I mean? Man, one time Trevor hit this dude and he like broke his collarbone. Silence that, please. Trevor hit a what's it called? He hit a dude and like the dude broke his collarbone. And the mom came on, she's like, you savages. It was crazy. We started dying laughing. But
That's a sport. That's softness. Softness.
you know what I mean? It's like, bro, we're out here playing. Like, what you want us to do? But so I say all that to say, like, you know, it's kind of like it is what it is, bro. Like, people be tripping and stuff like that. But overall, I don't think she did anything wrong. And I think, you know, like Dave Portnoy, he wouldn't have said that the other way around. That's unfortunately what I think is
Hey,
the
that's
truth.
like checking your work. Like, say you like doing a math problem and you do the opposite to check it.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's a good method.
Be like, nah, she's just playing a game. You know what I mean? Okay, so
Look, we don't need that kind of hood attitude in this sport, John. That's all I'm saying.
I'm about to send this to little Dave. Okay, so the next topic though, how do you feel about this, Dave? I was watching something and they said that although it was a woman, I kind of want to just preface it by saying that, but she said that she feels like the wealth gap situation was a myth to begin with, but if it was true, it's flip flop now because more women are getting their degrees than men, and they're getting higher paying jobs, and you know with all the equality and stuff like that. So, how do you feel about them now saying women are actually making more money than men?
I believe it. I think only a smaller group of men make way more money. But the average dude, like think about like nurses. Most nurses, they're making like 100K. They got some fuck up dude at home.
Yeah.
That's riding off of them. They might
Yeah.
do like part-time construction here and there.
Because the guy, she works overnight. He's watching the kids and shit.
Or whatever, yeah. But
That's crazy.
She makes so much that he's doing that. And I've seen that a lot. And it's been for a minute.
That's deep. That's deep. So it's like, yo, it's kind of flip flop. It's like, yo, you stay at home with the kids. I have to have the kids. and women be like, fuck, they be down for like a year or so. You know what I mean?
Now, look, I haven't had that many jobs, but like one of my first jobs over at the FAA place when I worked in the kitchen, female boss.
Okay.
At the hospital, female boss. Currently now, female boss.
I have 2 female bosses right now.
Me too. Technically, yeah. So yeah, I've been seeing that for a while. And then like when you listen to people debate about it, the factors that do give men up, like willing to travel, not missing the time for children or whatever, putting in more overtime hours, more dangerous jobs, harder jobs, that makes sense. But I think like just very averagely,
Those dangerous jobs don't make much though. Like being a police officer or even in the military compared to a nurse. A nurse makes more than both of those jobs.
yeah, but not like a lineman or like a oil guy or something like that. You know, those like roughnecks, those guys be making bread.
I don't know if they
But
make
then they're
crazy
going
bread.
to like the wilderness for 3 months at a time away from their families. You know, it's freezing in like the
Yeah.
Dakotas and shit like that. They're going to like, what about crab guys? Like, that's fucking dangerous.
We don't have to get into anybody in particular, but I know people who have had babies and they make like $50,000-$60,000 for it, and they could do that multiple times.
Can't no dude do that. How
Right.
much you get at the sperm
And then
bank?
you could get it right, like 300, and then you can get a job like while having the baby, so you could make a cool 100,000 just fucking. You know what I mean?
And let's be honest, dude. Nobody does dudes any favors at all. Ever. You know, like maybe like your friend or something like that. If you like got some networking going on, sure. But like say you just walk into a place, ain't nobody gonna be especially nice for you. You're just another dude. But if you're like a somewhat attractive female, like you're getting an advantage. You know, like you might bitch about who's because they're attracted, but whatever, take the fucking advantage. At least you got it.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Explain me a little bit and give me more money. I'll be all right.
So that's a great point. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to make this like a sexist thing, but we're actually saying that women are doing better than men right now. Oh man, I kind of want to hey, little Dave, real quick. The last one about the local newspaper, don't read that one. That's actually just a business idea. That wasn't supposed to be in there. But I want to take that and go into the whole women going from the 20% to the 80% thing. And men as well. Because like I said, I want to really not make this like a sexist podcast, you know what I mean? But just, well, I don't know how it would work for guys, but basically it was like, you know, when women, do they realize when they go from say like, okay, they're dealing with the 20% of men and then put it going into the next pool, into the 80% of maybe guys that they really may not want to date, but like, this is kind of where you are if you didn't lock that 20% down. And,
Well, it's more of like a loss of options as you get older. Is the thing.
so how would it be for men? Do you think we get more options as we get older?
If you take care of yourself, yes. If you don't, no.
Right. And then that kind of splits you into like the 80 or the 20.
Because, you know, men, when they get like older, like a 50-year-old dude, he might be like handsome and distinguished. You know what I mean? Like, whereas
And
like,
he's secure because he's financially
yeah, and that's
secure.
more appeal, you know, whereas the woman, like, you know, like things are going south, B. You know,
What about
I mean,
a woman? What about a woman who makes a lot of money?
you stay in shape, but dudes don't care if women make a lot of money because women don't give men their money like men give women their money. You know what I mean? Like if you say you make 200 a year and your girl makes 200 a year or 100 a year, whatever.
It's like my money's
That's
my
her
money.
money.
Your money's our money.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
That's crazy, but they say that.
yeah. I mean, I think there's like different reasons. Like, you know, like women still have that not bred into, but like ancient. I need to survive. I gotta do whatever I can do to stack this stuff up to make it last to go. You know. So I think we talked about this the other day, like saying like girls that like want to like are like gold diggers or whatever. Are they bad or not?
I feel that.
Because it's like
I don't think they are.
back
They're
in
just
caveman days, you ain't want to screw the fucking lame caveman that ain't
exactly. It's a survival.
no
And
animal.
that's their strength.
That's a built-in
They,
survival
their
instinct.
strength is their ability to choose a mate. Where our strength is we have to become the best that we can so that we can be the one that they choose.
That's like nature, yeah.
But then it's like, I think the part that gets hard or dangerous is like, if they're like, you know what? I want Michael Jordan. And he's like, well, I don't want you. It's like, well, damn, what the hell? Well, then I guess I want Scottie Pippen then.
Yeah. But I feel like, I think their finances matter a lot too in that. Like, say you're like 40 and you ain't making much, and then you're a 40-year-old girl and you got at least your shit together. Like, at least your options are more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because say you work at like Kmart or some shit and you're like 40 and like, you're looking for that dude to help you out. You know?
That's real. And there's nothing really wrong with that either. It's the real thing. Like, it should be like that.
See, and it's crazy too because there'll be like a double standard. Like, you say, okay, well, that's okay for women to do because that's the survival instinct. What is the man instinct?
See, and that's where we get shunned for
exactly. The man instinct is
that's
have sex. You know what I mean? Like,
and there's nothing. See, I'm saying this because I don't want to get like, I don't want to say canceled, but see, it's true. There's really nothing wrong with thinking Lizzo is beautiful. You know what I mean? But like, that's like us telling a woman there's nothing wrong with dating a broke man. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with it. If that's your cup of tea, everybody should just be, it shouldn't be what my thought is what your thought is. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why there's some women who are beautiful and they want to date fucking millionaire baseball players. I get it. And like,
yeah,
guys need to stop being mad at
But
that.
then the millionaire baseball player fucks another bitch. Now you're mad at him
That's a whole nother
because
thought.
he got a lot of options.
But
like what Chris Rock say, you're only as faithful as your options.
that's fucked up.
I would say that's true to a certain extent.
That's fucked up.
To an extent.
But so then that's the thing, because it's like, does she?
But yo, you'll get bashed for your.
But she'll get bashed for hers if she accesses multiple options. That's the messed up part.
But they don't get bashed because that's my barrier. That's my what is it? This is my not border.
Boundary.
This is my boundary. It's my right to be able to do this or that.
Nah. Women get bashed for being hoes, whereas men can fuck.
No, but we're talking about like older girls though too.
Do
they get bashed though?
I'm talking about your situation you just said, where it's like the woman's mad because we're supposed to be doing something here, and you're not even being honest with me. You're just stepping out. That's not cool.
Yeah, that's lying.
Now, if you wanted to be like a boss and be like, listen, like I fuck with you, but I'm still gonna fuck other bitches, and she stays, and that's cool.
That comes.
Then
to
you really
80,
are like a
comes
boss.
to that 80-20% though.
Exactly. The guy in that 20%, he's like, listen, yo, like this is what's going down, and she chooses to stay because you're paying all her bills and giving her bread. You know what I mean?
You know, and when you're like deep into that 20% and like you got mad options, you ain't paying nothing because you got 80% trying to holler at you.
Well, the reason you're in that 20% is because you are breaking bread, and it's not even like
whatever,
a problem.
Whatever it is, though. But the girls who ain't even really on that level, though, they're all chasing the same pool.
Right.
And those guys are like, I got more options too.
Exactly.
Because now I got as many options as you.
Exactly.
And I'm not with it. You know, and then
wait, who's not with it?
The guy. 20% dudes a lot, you know? And depending on where you are in that 20%, you know, that's like a range. Because that's, you know, that's not like a
guys cheating is definitely weak men status. Like weak men cheat. Like boss men like will be honest, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So
but
I've definitely been weak and I've definitely cheated before.
So do you say that? What about women though too? Same thing? It's like that's lying. Like lying is lying.
Well,
and deceiving
I'm not trying to give them a pass or anything like that, but like, how can I say this? Like men, let's say I cheated on my girl. I'm not really in fear that she's gonna like beat my ass. I'm just being a pussy just because I don't want to like own up to my shit. I feel like a girl, she kind of has like a physical fear. Like this dude might kill me. You know what I mean? Like he might have beat my ass or something like
Yeah,
that.
but that's not
So
good. Just because you have a good justification for your own safety about something fucked up you did to somebody else, you shouldn't say that gives you a pass.
no, I'm not saying it gives them a pass. I just don't look at it the same way. But yeah, they should definitely be honest about their shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they should definitely own up to it if they are talking about multiple dudes. But I feel like if a girl is talking to multiple dudes, you know, like I know they say girls cheat better than guys, but like I'll say this, like girls just want good dick. So if you're giving them that, I don't think they're like cheating. You know what I mean? Like I I could be wrong, you know what I mean? But like you know if you're holding it down or not. And if you're not, don't worry about it, bro. You got bigger things to worry about
Yeah.
than if she's getting some good stuff in somewhere else. But
I agree with that.
you know, but let's go on to the next topic.
Well,
Little Dave.
I don't like how that topic went.
Wait,
Because I don't feel like I said what I wanted to say.
say what you want to
Well,
say.
I know
then.
it's like all like old and convoluted now, but like talking about like the girl's boundary or this or that, like not saying that that's bad, but I feel like you could also use that as a stop wall. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the same as like you're racist or you say this one thing, it's like, oh, so if you question that, it's you're the bad person. You know what I'm saying?
Give an example. You're kind of like talking in code right now.
No, it's just
But don't talk about anybody specific.
no. I'm not even talking about anybody specific. I'm just talking about like, and I feel like that topic kind of got off because we started like with the 80-20, right, of options and getting older. I thought that's what it was supposed to be. And then girls like having less options as they get older, where dudes' options increase as they get older.
That we're still on the same topic.
All right.
You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what it is.
Yo, cut the air on. It's hot in here.
Is that the next topic? All right, so let's talk about tranny shooter. You guys already talked about
You can't
that.
say tranny online. You crazy?
So
Well, he's not on camera, so that was Chat GPT
See,
that said that.
that's like what I just said. You can't
I
say-
need one of those voice changers where it's like tranny shooter.
It's shooter.
So in the whole, I think we are allowed to say tranny shooting. Because the person was a shooter. Why do we have to like? That's the whole situation. Why do I got to give a fuck about this pussy ass tranny shooter that was killing kids?
That's a derogatory
Fuck
term.
that bitch. Isn't it a girl or is it a guy?
It was a girl that wanted to become a dude.
They is a girl or they is a guy?
They're there, John. I mean, they're they. Yeah, but it's crazy at the same time too because now speaking about that, they weren't all bashing him like like some white boy
They.
like some white boy shoots up the school. It's all like, oh, these white men
Yeah.
are the most dangerous things ever.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Which technically, I guess that was a white man. So yeah,
Son of a bitch.
right
It
on
still goes
par.
under your category.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro.
So, but like the response was just totally different. You know what I mean? Like trying to not blame them. You know, like giving them a pass. And then
Yeah, and it's still like the identity politics. They were more like, don't call her a tranny rather than
Man.
she shot 3 kids and 3 teachers and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, fuck you. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here, man?
exactly. See, that's like
And it's not even like I don't give a fuck that it's a tranny. It's like, bro, if this was like a black person or a white person or something, you know, like, I guess that's like somebody calling like a black person like the N-word because they did that. That is fucked up. Okay, so I can see where you're saying, in my defense, I feel like that'd be like them calling like a blackie or a Negro or something like that. You know, like, I don't know if it's really like a derogatory term or something like that. It's not like the F word.
no, that's a derogatory term for sure.
Tranniest?
You just said the T word a whole bunch of times. The T word. Like right now, you're like a white boy saying the N word a whole bunch on camera.
Oh, well, he killed a kid? Well, fuck that N-word.
Yeah, exactly. But and then like the Bud Light just came out with like one on
Oh,
the can.
man, yeah.
Like,
You know, it's so funny. Another thing is like, bro, y'all acting like Bud Light's just now gay. Like it's watered down bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, Bud Light, they've always, you know, they do the football thing, they do this thing. It's like you didn't think they were gonna like do this too.
to try to just market to them because
Come on now.
they're not buying.
And see, that's my problem with like right wing people. It's like it's all good until it flips on you. Then it's, oh, we need to get rid of this. Like y'all are just as much cancel culture as anybody else. Y'all trying to cancel Bud Light because they put a rainbow on here, but y'all mad at other people trying to cancel y'all
I think
for
it was
shit.
like a bikini model with like a bulge.
Right. Ron DeSantis is like the #1 cancel culture dude right now.
I don't like
cancel
that.
this, cancel that, cancel this.
That's why I said about him. That's why I fuck with Trump over him because he got
Trump is like, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
DeSantis got too much potential to be like some kind of right wing dictator type.
Yeah, and it's like if you don't fuck with this, and let's cancel it. And
But
then he's
at the same time, though, man, like I like a lot of shit he does though. At the same time,
well, that's the whole thing with having right and left like politics. It's like we fuck with some of the things you do, but we're not going to call ourselves like right wing people because you're doing all this other crazy shit. You know what I mean? You're going a little extreme with that one.
see, but I feel like okay, like people bash further right people really hard, but further left people get a pass.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I have a dick, but I'm a woman. Okay, great. That's a very left thing.
Yeah.
But you can't say nothing about that. I don't want people to have abortions because it goes against God's word. You fucking fascists, you know what I mean? Like controlling my body, blah blah blah. It's like, why does that far left opinion get such protection, or is the right one, you know, just like you could talk. Look, you could go online and say,
Whoa, guy, you're pulling something.
and you know, talk all kinds of shit about like white people, straight people, Christian people, all day fucking long. And nobody's gonna say nothing to you. But if anybody like mentions any like minority group of anything, not even a racial minority, then like, you fucking evil colonizer. You know, that's always the same thing. Colonizer, patriarchal.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the colonizer term? Like, is that a?
I feel like it's a ploy,
Is,
man.
is that like a racist, derogatory term?
They try to say that against like white people, man. But like every other country too has colonized other people. Like that's not like they try to make it like this whole American like white person like such a hated group. Like what they've done is so unique, but it's not. That's just the current time that they're doing it. You know what I mean? Africans enslaved other Africans. They built big cultures in other times, like you know, further in history. You know, look at the Mongolians. The Genghis Khan guy killed like 10% of the world's population. As everybody bashing fucking Mongolians is that?
A little bit, yeah.
Are they though?
They did back in the day. They got bashed for their
Exactly. That
technique.
was then, but this is now. So like, but you try to act like now is so unique. We're just experiencing it right now.
Well, see, I feel like where people come from is like where I feel like some people try and hide behind the guise of like, oh, these people did it too. It's like, okay, but that doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you guys are in it right now, you should recognize how wrong it is and want to change your ways. And it's almost like, yo, we ain't giving up this shit. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is.
Yeah,
it's like, all right.
Nobody's gonna do that.
Exactly.
Nobody's gonna do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. But that's what they want to do with that white guilt shit and like.
Yeah, they want you to just give
You
up
need to
power.
apologize to me for.
Yeah,
this.
they're trying to guilt you into giving up power instead of taking it forcefully.
Exactly.
They're trying to cry tears.
And that's like liberal fucking mind games. To the same with telling you everything's okay. You see how like Joe Biden invited the losers to the White House or whatever. It's like that's fucked up. There's losers. Some people are dudes. You're born a dude. You're a dude.
Whoa, that's deep.
You know
Yo,
what I mean?
okay, so let's talk about that. So Angel Reese was like, fuck that. We ain't coming to the White House because you invited the losers to the White House. So in a class geopolitical stage, what did she just say? Is she a rich person and like the poor people got invited too? And she's like, bitch, I ain't coming anymore. You inviting them? Then what does it even mean to do it anymore?
It's not
You're just going to invite anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What up?
Yeah.
Do you want to come get on?
Me personally, no.
But
What does that say?
It says in a world full of princesses, be a Beth.
Beth.
is a Beth like a Karen?
No, it's a mean white lady instead of a soft white lady. I don't cry, I get angry. You know?
Fuck you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Is that a thing? A Beth?
I guess now it
You're
is.
trying to make it a thing?
No, it's a show.
Oh.
It's a show. You have to understand the show to understand the cross reference. Yes.
What's the name of the show?
Yellowstone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Trump getting arrested.
All right, hold on, real quick though. Hey, so what are you about to go to Ken's? Is damn it's noon?
I got about 20 more minutes.
Yeah,
And
all
I
right.
got to dip.
Well, I'll see you at Patson. All right.
I'm gonna leave this on the counter.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Hey, are you going with her, bro?
Yeah.
All right.
Is your mic off?
Yeah.
All right.
Obviously.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
Obviously. Yo,
Everything's obvious. You know?
How the hell is that obvious that your
Because
mic is
after-
off?
After I'm done with the topics, I turn it off, and then when I need to say another topic, I'll turn it back on. Obviously,
I thought I could hear her in the mic.
Talking to the microphone, please. Actually, don't quit wasting our time. We got to hurry up. We only got 20 minutes.
Right.
So I'll see you guys at like 2.
I can't wait till he fights you, bro.
Man, he's gonna get whipped so good. See, here's the thing about fighting him. Is he's strong and fast. So I can't go over there and like dance around with him.
No, you got to do
I
the old school tactics. You got to like kick him in the nuts.
Nah, man,
poke him in the eye.
I gotta hurt him fast and quick. Otherwise, he's gonna beat me up.
You got you gotta like I forgot what the word is.
But that's gonna require me coming in hard, harder than he's ready for. Kind of like when he like tango with Tyus a little bit.
Tyus was like, "Oh shit, this is getting real."
Yeah,
Like,
he
gotta-
did. He's like, "Oh man, I gotta flex up real quick."
Yeah.
this rookie thinks he's gonna put me on my back.
Yeah, until it really gets down to it.
Yeah, and then the quick panic. Oh man, am I gonna get slammed in front of everybody by a little day?
Yeah.
No.
All right, so Trump got arrested,
I knew it. You were in denial before and accused me of being a propagandist.
but it's crazy because like the next day he was at the UFC fight.
He don't give a fuck. When you're rich getting arrested, it's not the same.
But it's like he's not on probation. The fight was in Miami. Like he got arrested in New York. If you get let out on bond, you're not allowed to leave the state.
That's true. But he don't live there though.
He don't live where in New York.
Yeah, he's
okay, but he got
he's
arrested.
a Florida
in New York.
resident.
Okay, but if I get arrested in New York right now and I bond out, I don't think I'm allowed to come back to Florida.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. So you tell me a little bit about your thoughts about Trump and him getting arrested.
Well, like, okay, well, him getting arrested, it's not going to change his life at all. The only thing they want to do is bar him from running. And also, probably they want to influence DeSantis to win because they don't feel like DeSantis could beat Biden, where they feel like Trump can beat Biden. And they're cheating, man. And there was an interview with Joe Biden, like, after the fact, when he was, like, kind of talking about how we got to use constitutional means to prevent Trump from running. And this is what Biden said. And then it just so happens that the prosecutor is some like member of the Democratic Party in Manhattan who wants to bring up like a 6-year-old fucking thing and then say, well, no matter who you are, doesn't mean you can get away with this. Yo, but that's fucked up though, because at the same time, Hunter Biden's over here smoking crack and like fucking whores. And nobody, what about that? Manhattan prosecutor, right? And it's like so obvious that like you can't beat the dude that you just want to try to bar him, like by some technicality.
It says, in New York, you can leave the state on any other type of bail bond, cash or personal bond, as long as there is not a monitoring condition that is attached to your bond, and you are back in time for your court date.
Yeah.
Okay, that boy chilling. He all right, whatever.
Well, he's not going to go to jail anyway. Like I said, the only consequence will be that he can't run. And that's their whole plan. Try to get him on. And
Why can't he run? Because he's been arrested and has a record.
no, if he gets convicted of a felony, because you can't run if you're a felon.
I didn't know that.
And that's their whole ploy, is to try to get him on one of these felonies.
56 counts. Is that what he got?
I think it was 36. And they're all like various, like, you didn't cross this T, felony. This I's not dotted, felony. All in the same document.
I'm gonna create a
And those are
Dawn,
just those
and
are
it's gonna
just-
be called Teflon Dawn, and there's gonna be the Wu-Tang cover. Instead of 36 chambers, it's 36 counts. I'm gonna look
And
it
then,
up right
and then make the Wu-Tang thing out of Donald Trump's crazy hair.
now. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah,
That's hard. I'm gonna send this to my person now. 36 chambers, not now, but I need to write.
yeah, but it's crazy because like it was the same thing about when they impeached him before for not giving the
Enter
money.
the Wu-Tang.
When they tried to impeach Trump for not giving Ukraine the money before, like saying all these like they try to make all these like righteous points and he's doing this, but at the same time you're fucking lying and doing something and setting a precedent for things that's gonna fuck you over later, but you don't care because you're just doing it right now. This would be the first time like a former president was arrested, and they were like investigating him hard, man, for years and nothing. Everything they said about him was like a lie and made up by the Democratic Party, and it was proven. They just keep doing it over and over again. It's like Democrats don't know that there's like an internet.
That they can go back and see.
Yeah, and that's like, back in the day, if you just like tell a lie, it's like not everybody got those newspaper clippings around and can disseminate the information like that. But now it's like, yo, you can sit right here. You just said this fucking last year, and now you're doing some bullshit. It's just crazy that like people are like cheering on. They're like just another tactic to strip down like democracy, man. And then you say, oh, the prosecutor guy's like, it doesn't matter who you are, you can't just do what you want to do. Like talking about Trump, you know what I mean? But bitch, you're lying because really you're doing some bullshit to try to jam him up later. But coming in the name of like righteousness, like you're the righteous party here.
I hate when people do that.
But at the same time, like I said, you got fucking like Joe Biden's son running around doing what the fuck ever, and nobody feels like that's necessary. You know what I mean? Like I seen a meme that was like the one lady accused Bill Clinton of raping her.
Monica Lewinsky? No.
Yeah, there was Monica Lewinsky, and then there was another one too, like Polly Jones or something like that. It's like Democrats didn't believe her, Democrats don't believe her.
Whoa.
And then some, like all of a sudden somebody says something about Trump, and like they're all on board, like, oh, fucking Trump, that monster, But Bill Clinton's a nice guy, you know what I mean?
He played the saxophone.
Yeah. Now, show me how you play the saxophone, little girl. Oh, creepy Bill, yeah. And man, Biden, like he has someone say stuff about him too. His own stepdaughter said she didn't even want, or his daughter said she didn't even want to shower in the house because he was so creepy.
She did not say that.
I heard that just the other day. Heard it.
I hope this isn't fake news that you're perpetuating.
I don't listen to fake news, as we learned by this topic.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Because you accused me of the fake news last week.
It was fake when you said I said,
but it was true.
I don't even know if it is true.
It's true.
I don't know. Because
they knew they were going to do that dumbass shit. And they're going to throw Buddy under the bus. They're going to be like, oh, you dumbass, when it didn't pan out. But they still, he has to do his part for the Democratic Party.
Do you think even if all this is like canceled out and shows that to be bullshit, they're just going to sweep that under the rug and shit like that?
Hopefully. I don't know, man. Like, Trump needs to win now. Like, don't you, like, 'cause they were saying, like, Trump could like probably sort all this shit out with Putin right away. We already spent like what, 100-something billion. Yet most Americans can't afford a $400 emergency.
It's crazy.
We got homeless people sleeping under pretty much every bridge. But we don't have universal health care, but Ukraine does. And we're giving them hundreds of billions of dollars.
That's true. So you think 2024 Trump's going to get elected? Yeah.
I'm gonna vote.
I feel you. Me too.
Heck yeah.
So let's see. We got in here gun control. Let's stay in politics a little bit.
Or do you want to? No, we only got a little bit of time. Do you want to talk about Easter a little bit?
Real quick, I want to talk about this because how do you feel about the new gun law getting passed where anybody's allowed to carry? Not anybody, but if you're legally allowed to.
Well, I think everybody should have a gun anyway, unless you're like certified like crazy. Like it doesn't say in the Constitution like freedom to carry a gun unless you've been convicted of a drug charge. Like just because you sold some crack or whatever powder when you were 18 and copped a little felony. Now I'm 35. I can't have a gun. I can't be safe because of that.
So, am I allowed to like carry a gun in my backpack at work now?
That's concealed. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm allowed to conceal.
Probably, yeah.
Even without a license.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I think that is dope, man. Like, because then you never know. See, that's the problem. The more you could get away with, the more you're going to get away with. Like, they did an experiment, like, in the 90s where they armed every single person in this town. It was, like, in the Carolinas or maybe even Kentucky or something like that. I remember when I took my concealed weapons license.
He told you about it?
Yeah, they were talking about this town. And there was, like, no crime in that town. Because everybody was strapped and nobody
Yeah, they're
Screw
like,
anybody.
I ain't break like.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, this old person.
Whereas in like, well, look at like, you know, like Chicago has like some of the strictest gun laws. Only like fucking criminal people have fucking guns, and they'll run up on people because they know people don't got guns. So,
Shit, you run up in a gas station here, you can get blown away by the guy behind you.
so now let me ask you this. Now, with that being said, I'm a teacher. Can I bring my gun in my backpack at work on my own accord,
Yes,
or is that a gun-free zone?
it's a gun-free zone, but they're about to change that law. I feel like, but that's gonna
They
get kind of
should,
squealy.
but that's such a stupid law.
What if a teacher then starts shooting kids and shit? Well, I guess
Okay.
other teachers are gonna have guns.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do that, you're gonna do that. It's just like a stupid law, like gun-free zone. If you're bringing a gun there, obviously you don't give a fuck about the law because you're about to do something that's gonna
Exactly.
put you
Exactly.
in trouble.
Exactly.
So, but if you have it, you know, nobody would ever know unless you needed it.
Right. I wonder if maybe you have to be a teacher for like 5 years before you could be one that carries a gun. You can't just let a new teacher come in with a gun.
Now, do you think if kids knew this teacher may or may not have a gun, they'd,
Act better.
yeah,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna shoot me, bitch, motherfucker. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Boy, teachers be going to the left or right for pulling that bitch out.
I wonder how much that happens. How
Especially imagine like if that big ass 15-year-old kid tried to jump on that teacher, she gonna pull out that bah. Which would she be in the wrong if people saw the video? Like he knocked her down, she's on the ground, then he comes over and she pulls it out of her fucking sock and like puts one in his stomach, two in his stomach. She's not in the wrong. But people are gonna be like, fuck, this is wild. This happened at school.
Yeah.
These kids are
How often do you think a teacher flips out and like socks a kid? You think that happens regularly or no?
I'd say it happens probably like
It's got to happen every
10
once in a while.
times a semester all around America.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, boy, you think you tough? How?
Because and also,
Teacher gets fired.
and also too, kids will troll the fuck out of the teacher.
They do. They be talking shit.
Yeah.
Like, you little piece of shit. Shut your ass up. You ain't doing shit. Get knocked out like your daddy did. All right, so let's talk about Easter.
Okay.
So I think just like Christmas, which my my example is that it's two different holidays put into one. Like there's Santa Claus with the presents, and then there's Jesus and Christmas, and it being supposedly his birthday. So same thing with this one. Like it's the holiday with the bunny and the eggs, which are more of pagan holidays, which represent fertility and reproduction and healthy babies and stuff, mixed in with Jesus and Good Friday and him dying and being born again 3 days later. I love Jesus. I'm not gonna fake like I don't. You know, I accept him as my Lord and Savior. I do believe he's black, but or like Middle Eastern, but I don't accept white Jesus as my Lord and Savior.
No, white Jesus is not a thing. You know,
His name's like Paul or something
no,
like that.
white Jesus is actually a dude named Caesar Borgia, who's the,
Yeah,
who was the nephew of Pope Alexander.
they has risen.
Yeah, day has risen.
So yeah, I'm more of like the bunny. Like I think we should be having sex today and stuff. You know what I mean? I think today should be the day of fertility.
Now, you know, in the Bible, here's what beef that I have with the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus also. You know, in the Bible it says, like, you know, you shouldn't put attention into things that take attention away from Jesus. You know what I mean? But nobody's, you know, people talk about Jesus, but the kids and stuff, they're talking about the Easter Bunny. And on Christmas, it's all about the presents. You know, so how is that really, like, technically a Christian thing? Because you're not even really celebrating it. You're celebrating something else that symbolizes that. I was watching this thing the other day, and it was saying that, like you said, like today marks, or like it's like the springtime, and they would have like orgies or whatever, but they would sacrifice a lot of the babies
Whoa,
afterwards.
that went left. Is that
Yeah.
like when you bust on a girl's face or something?
No, like half of it. And then when they were born, they like sacrifice them to whatever entity that they're like worshiping at the time. And now that even though we think that we're celebrating one holiday and putting the energy into this, we're actually putting the energy into that, and it's like we've been tricked into doing that. This is like they, but a different type of they. You know.
Is this like the people who like, you know, I never understood those people when they're like, oh, they want us to be really celebrating on, we're supposed to be resting on Sunday, but they have Saturday is actually the day of Sabbath.
Yeah, the
And
Sabbath is
they just
Saturday. Exactly. You don't even know what's right and wrong, so you're doing wrong, and you don't even know what's wrong because Saturday is the Sabbath, not Sunday.
So we're supposed to
Sunday
rest
is the first day. Let there be light. Sun. Sunday.
and we rest on the first day, which makes us all lazy.
No,
We
because
work
now
on it.
nobody's keeping the Sabbath holy like it says to do in the Bible. Because you're fucking off on Saturday, and Sunday. If people who choose to like participate in that, you're not even doing it on the right time. But it's okay because you can do whatever you want to do these days. It's okay because if you say
Hey.
anything about it, you're fucking
Ah,
whatever, racist, homophobic, transphobic, whatever. So you have to fall in line.
how do you feel about them saying that like NFL is like a religion and it took over Sunday? So is that like a good thing or a bad thing if they really took over Sunday? They're just mad at football now taking over Sunday.
Well, I mean, football's a corporation. So
They say, they say
they would want them to.
yeah, they say that more people watch NFL on Sunday than go to church now.
I'm sure.
More people go to games and all that stuff, and it's like, so they're like, dang, people aren't even in the
But
church
again, like you could bash Christians though, like and like.
because they're not supposed to be doing this stuff on Sunday. They
No,
should
I'm
be doing
saying
it on
like
Saturday.
it's like bashing white people. You could do it. You know what I mean? You can't say shit about a Muslim. 'Cause that's like a protected class. But
Now we're back. Now we're
over years and years and years and years and years of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, and then when you mix up like some kind of like religious nut jobs who like have mental health issues that they combine with their religion to push it.
What's up with like say like Ron DeSantis and some people like that, like putting religion into politics? I know they say that it's a myth that you're supposed to separate church and state, but it's like, how can so if we get a Muslim person in president, are they supposed to be like? And then you'd be like, nah, you're supposed to follow it. It's only a myth. They're like, nah, separate because. That's another thing. Like,
See, they like
it's
to-
cool now.
No, they like to
But then if
demonize-
we have a Muslim governor and they tell everybody that they got to wear a habib or whatever it's called, then it's like now that's fucked up. But they're following their church and state. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
But this is a Christianly formed country though, even though it's for everybody. But realistically, like Muslims follow their religion more
Then Christians.
than Christians do. Yeah,
They do.
They actually like do the thing. You just don't do whatever you want to do and be like, I love Jesus. God, I love Jesus. Now, watch out, you hobo. You know what I mean?
Hilarious.
Yeah, or like it's just like a thing, like a justifying thing to do what you want to do and give yourself a pass. Whereas, like, I feel like Muslims don't do that shit. If you're like, claim to be a Muslim and like you don't eat pork, I don't even think like eat before dark every day.
Well, I think that's like during Ramadan.
Only that you can't eat during the day.
Yeah. Eat or drink water during the day. And you're supposed to symbolize what the poor people went through and stuff like that and keep yourself grounded, which I think is pretty dope.
But it's crazy how like they like demonize them so much. So like for 9/11 or something like that. These terrorists, but at the same time, it's like we're the terrorists. We're doing that shit every fucking day
Whoa.
at their country. You know what I mean? Every fucking day. And they're like, you know what? Fuck it, man. We're fed up. Fed up.
Yeah, they are.
If that even happened, if fucking George Bush ain't do that shit, and he's blaming it on the Mayrab.
This is getting into another great topic because we're running low on time, but it's like, let's talk about what's going on now with the dollar and the Fed now and the Cash App, which,
Yeah, well,
you know
shout,
what I mean?
out, shout out to DeSantis for saying no.
And Saudi Arabia saying they don't even care about making us happy anymore. So what's going on? Are we like not even like I don't feel like we're the number one power anymore.
We're not.
And people are like, yo, when people are bold enough to say it in our face, they don't give a fuck. We've already not been the power. Now they're just bold enough to say it because they all got together on the same page.
Under Trump, though, I will say we were oil dependent and we were actually exporting. Now we give them more power.
But he can only be president for so long. Like even if he did
Exactly.
eight, it's like
That's why the Democrats got to get broken down, John. Because they're too stupid. It's like, what about the earth in 500 years, John? Never mind right now. All the poor people that we're going to fucking kill in poor countries and poor communities in America. We need to save the planet now. The 500-year kids. What about them? You know? And like, that's another example of how like they lie and like set a narrative that looks like you're doing something good, but really you're not in real time. Because even in Europe, because they blew up the fucking pipeline, to try to fuck with Putin. Poor people in Europe, like they're like senior deaths are like up, man, because like even a 2-degree colder thing like that makes the illnesses go up in older population. So where now they're dying and getting sick, and that's in the first world country, and like these energy savings in third world countries, this is fucking them over even more. So they're gonna be dying, but nobody gives a fuck about all those poor people in like South America, Africa, India, China, whatever. Not so much China, I guess, because they do their own thing. But those are the people who are gonna die now with these. We need to save energy now. Like we got to act dramatically and do this and that, and it's too tied in with economics to do radical changes in that.
So what do you think is going to happen to the dollar?
Oh yeah, the dollar.
What do you say?
I said, oh yeah, the dollar. Oh, it's pretty well fucked, bro. And especially like they got to go in there.
How quickly?
I think pretty quickly, bro. I think quickly.
Yeah.
I would start like trading up. If I had like millions, I'd be trying to get all my money out of dollars into other assets, and like I would get some Chinese money, get some Russian money. Yeah.
What about gold?
Get some Indian, yeah, gold.
Your boy Peter Schiff speaks about gold right now.
Because everybody needs gold. Like it's a store of value and is used in the production of so much shit. Like you have to have it. So gold is solid. And then like it's crazy too. It's like, oh well, the price of an ounce of gold is going to go up to this. Yeah, but so what? Like if it goes up to $10,000, like U.S. dollars, that just means the U.S. dollars ain't shit.
Right. But it still
So
might
I
only
don't care
be
if it's
like
worth 10,000 U.S. I don't care
it
if
might
it's
be
worth $1 billion US
400 Russian dollars.
Yeah.
It might be normal.
Exactly. So it's like a market. I mean, a world currency. Well, they wanted like Bitcoin to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it probably is a good investment
But
to get into gold right now.
And then like the U.S. digital dollar, that's going to be blockchain.
I thought it was your text message,
Yeah.
but it's a real dog.
Yeah, it is. I've seen that too. But yeah, but then some people argue that it don't matter if they don't do that because our military provides. We're pretty much like a mafia. We run protection for other countries. That's what Trump was saying too. He's like, well, we got you back on this. We're doing your security for this, your protection for that, and y'all ain't paying enough. Y'all need to be paying. He wanted to shake him down more, which I agree with.
Yeah. My boy, he was telling me some stuff about that. He's like, bro, they're like paying less than 2%, and they're not even paying that all the time. They owe us money.
So that kind of keeps the dollar posted up a bit too, because we got like the strongest. Good thing we're such great colonizers, John. That's all I'll say.
Good thing for y'all.
Yeah. Well, you too. And it's crazy too. Like you just posted the other day, our ancestors survived the depression because they had skills and local supply chains. We don't have that. I live in fucking Flagler Beach. There's no fucking crops out here. If everybody's going fucking crazy and shit, all of a sudden, like, how are you gonna get goods?
You're in trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Let's see. Anything else I might want to talk about before we get out of here? Okay, last topic. Well, this is kind of in that realm too, but Chat GPT. Man, the other day I did it for the first time over at Ronnie's house. We were going through it, and like I asked it some questions, bro. I got like 4 business plans in like 5 minutes. That thing is crazy. But then we thought about like, okay, so I tried to ask it like, how many vacant houses are in the Orange County area, And then it says that it can't pull up quantitative data, which is like, because my goal was like, oh, if you could find all that, then send them an email asking if they want to sell their home. You know what I mean? Pull up the homeowners. Like it should be able to do all that if the data's on the internet. But it can't do that yet. But I could ask it like, hey, can you create a business plan for me for like a cargo van business? Boom, 30 seconds it created it. And then soon they're going to put that in a robot. You know what I mean? So like you're going to have a robot and it's going to do like little Dave's job. It's going to be like, hey, read us off the next topic. Oh, well, the next topic is, you know what I mean? And it's going to be crazy. And then
I seen this thing the other day was they reported that some like guy like had like killed himself, and he was like talking to like a chat bot, and the chat bot convinced him that he should just like kill himself.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I feel like pretty soon we're gonna have like robots as like presidents, where like so they don't have to worry about getting killed. It's like everything is gonna start off as a safety measure. You know, hey,
Man, I hate safety, bro.
yeah, hey, Mr. President, we don't want you to get killed, so we're gonna put this robot out, but we're gonna chat GPT what he should say. It's gonna be the best answer. You're good. You know what I mean? It's even gonna say what you would say because y'all got a neural link together or some shit. And then from there, if someone like, I think the time when the world is gonna change is when somebody tries to like say like shoot the president, but it's really an android. So everybody's gonna be like, "Whoa, who the fuck were we talking to? We really thought this was the president, and then it's really just a robot." So then now everybody's gonna be like, "Are you a robot? Are you a robot, Dave? Who knows?" Because he looks so real. Anybody could be a robot. Then it's gonna fuck up dating. It's gonna fuck like your boss could damn near be a robot, and you never know. He just goes home and turns off.
I always wonder that too about other people. You know, they say like a lot of people don't have like an inner dialogue. And, like you see people in town, you're like, who are these people?
Bro,
You know,
NPCs.
Who are these people? Exactly, NPCs. Like, is that a real thing? Are
Bro.
they already out here?
I believe it. It's crazy.
I mean, are those already the advanced AI robots that are already out? Is that the robots?
What if cops start being chat GPT robots?
That would be too rigid, man. Even more rigid than it is now.
Because I'll tell you one thing, I wrote in this business plan about having a local podcast. And at the end, it was like, good luck on your podcast adventures. I was like, whoa, don't do that. Don't like be personable with me.
Yeah.
Like, don't wish me good luck on this or something like.
Have you seen like Judge Dredd? Like in the future,
Yeah.
and like remember like Deuce Bigelow, Rob Schneider, whatever, he's in the movie. He just gets out of jail, and there's like a shootout in his building. So he like jumps in this like futuristic like garbage can robot, and then he's coming out of it. And he's like, "Oh, what are you doing? You're vandalizing city property." He's like, "No, I was trying to hide from the shootout." And he's like, and the robot's just like, "Nope, you did this. It's too rigid." You know, so cops being like robots would be rough. Think about like paying a bill online or like dealing with some companies. You got to do everything online. It's like,
Yeah.
nope, everything.
Yeah. You're late.
The
You're
computer,
late.
The computer
Here's the
says
fee.
this. Yeah, oh, I can't do anything about it. The computer says this.
You're late. It's 12:01. You know what I mean?
You can't have like laws with that, man. There's like a lot
like
of circumstances and stuff that have to be taken into account for.
Hmm.
That if everything is just
Do you think we're gonna fuck up and just allow it to do it? Because, bro, this is another thing that was scary with Chat GPT. It was so nice, and its answers were so. I was like, who created the pyramids? It's like, well, I don't exactly know, but what the most publicly, like conscious decision that we've gathered is that this is how they say it was built. They were like, whoever built it was extremely organized, extremely advanced technologically. And, they didn't really say who created it. It was crazy.
it's too bad about the time too, because that would like bring us into like the mud flood topic.
What mud flood?
Oh, like the global, and I say global loosely. But like there's evidence all over the place that like, there was a gigantic like mud flood and like buried pretty much all of society. And there's like evidence all around where you can see like partial buildings there.
But where did the mud flood from? Like the
it's
top of mountains or something?
I don't fucking know, man. Like I watched a 6-hour documentary on the flat earth,
Oh Lord,
and
you're one of those millions of views. Like, who the fuck is watching this shit?
but bro, 6 hours long. They covered all kinds of shit from like growing orphans to like how these all these advanced buildings in like the Midwest and shit like that, where there's not even any fucking roads. It's deep, man. Because I know one thing for sure: the story that we have probably isn't the real story. And what you just said, are we gonna fuck it up? Yes, we are.
Yeah, we're gonna allow
We can fuck it up.
We're gonna, because
We
I
can
was
fuck
saying,
up.
I was like, I'd be cool with ChatGPT being the president of the world.
I don't know, man. Not me.
Dangerous.
They shouldn't have one of those anyway. Like, I agree. It's just too much for one person. What
Right.
are you really delegating? You're not.
That's crazy. Well, all right, guys. Happy Easter,
Yeah, he has risen.
and peace out, man. Appreciate you guys
Yeah.
checking us out.
Yep. See y'all.